All
Great,
right, guys,
great.
on this episode, we have Maurelle. She is a calligrapher out of Vancouver. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, how are you guys? Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me here, Sunil.
Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. Uh, tell me more about yourself.
So my name is Maurelle, and I am an entrepreneur. And aside from that, I'm also a mom, a wife, and I'm also homeschooling my kids. I have three little kids. They're 6, 5, and 2. So currently, because of the health crisis that we have right now, I'm home with them. Though my husband works, but even before this happened, I'm also doing most of my work just inside my house, so in my little studio. This studio is just like a small den that I have, and I pretty much do calligraphy. So right now, I'm more focused on teaching people to learn calligraphy. And I
Okay.
also do calligraphy for brands, so live events. So if they want something customized for their clients, or they want something special, a special treat for their clients, so I'll be there. I'll be writing calligraphy for cards or on glasses. I even wrote calligraphy on shoes,
Oh,
so anything
wow.
like that.
Yep.
So pretty much that is. But before that, I'm doing mostly wedding calligraphy. I still do that now, but I'm more focused on teaching and doing brand events at the moment. So yeah,
Especially now, right? With a lot of events being canceled and weddings being one of
yes,
them,
that's right. That's
right?
right. I
It's
do
it's
have
it,
that.
it's sad, but on the business side, you need to figure out another way of doing it.
Exactly, you are correct. Actually, this I've been doing calligraphy for 8 years now. So when I started, there are not really like a lot of people doing calligraphy here in Vancouver. Well, specifically modern calligraphy. It's mostly like traditional calligraphy. So during that time when I started, and it's Instagram is not as useful yet, or not useful, but maybe it's not being used for business yet. So I'm trying to figure out everything. But then now, because of the growth of Instagram, of social media, it helped me a lot, especially in my business. And then at the same time, I have to figure out a way on how to do business online. So this crisis actually pushed me out of my comfort zone to like teach calligraphy online, which a lot of people have been requesting. But then now I have no choice, but I have to do it, which is
That's good how you how
the good
you kind of
thing.
how you adjusted to that. Sorry, in the beginning you said Instagram wasn't it's hard to do business on Instagram. Like what
Well,
did you mean on that?
oh no, because during that time, 2012, 2013, like it's just like the start of Instagram.
Got it.
So it doesn't have like a business features like insights, how when your audience are active on Instagram. But it is actually one of the vehicles why I was able to really get my business up and running here in Vancouver. And that's where I connected to a lot of people, especially in the wedding industry, which is I'm grateful for.
So let's talk about that because I was looking at your Instagram page.
Okay.
Um, I should just tell the guests what your Instagram handle is.
Oh, it's hello, Hello, then my first name, Maurelle. Hello, Maurelle.
And Maurelle is spelled
R-E.
Maurelle.
Yes, that's right.
Correct. Okay. Uh, so you got a pretty decent following there. How did you manage to get that? I
Sorry,
know
can you?
a lot of our listeners is really listening on how to build followers, not just
Mhm.
here, but also on TikTok, on Facebook, on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, and everywhere.
So when I started first with connecting with people who are already in the wedding industry. So I don't like kind of like spam them with like my work and all that stuff. I really try to connect them with like genuine connection and friendship. And we started to collaborate. And so collaboration means like photo shoots. So we did a lot of photo shoots, and with the photo shoots, we get to share our work in their work. So it's kind of a promotion of each other's work on our Instagram account. And from there, it started to grow like the following, because some people of some of their audience, they saw my work, and then some of my audience, they saw their work. So it's a benefit, it's a mutual benefit for us. And then after that, I also focused on like sharing more of like the behind the scenes of what I do, to try to connect to more people, and especially for wedding clients that time, so they know what I do, like how do I do, like for say a certain invitation, because for some people they think like, oh, calligraphy, you're just gonna write it, right? So it might be pretty easy. But then when I share that, you have to write it first, and then you don't just write it once, you have to write it several times, because you want to make sure that everything is positioned, visually balanced on all the stuff. And then you have to scan it, and then you also have to digitize it, make it available online. There are really steps, and it doesn't take like it's not an overnight thing to do. And most people appreciate that. Oh, okay, so that is why I'm paying you for this, because it's not something that I can do overnight. So it's more of the skill that I've acquired through experience of practicing calligraphy that they're actually hiring me for, and not just the writing of calligraphy. So it's more of the experience
Got it.
for
So
them
it
as
was it
well.
was the process. So in the beginning is
Yes,
collaboration,
that's
and then
right.
you added recording, documenting your process as well.
Yes, that's right. So I also find that consistency is important, which I am guilty, because sometimes I have to, take a break from Instagram, and I don't really want to pressure myself, like, or compare myself to others, like, oh, they have so much following, and why is my following, just this much? So what's more important for me is that the people that follow me are those people that really appreciate my work, and those that are really, there and enjoying what I post on Instagram.
In everything, quality over quantity. What it
Yes,
comes
that's
down to,
right.
right? You can have three or four
Exactly.
just strong. Like in my mortgage business, I don't need
Mm-hmm.
a lot of customers, right? Clients. I just need a handful of repeat strong, and that's there for a long time, which is more than enough for me. And that's what it comes down to. It's not the quantity; it comes down to the quality of the people around you.
I totally agree, and based from my experience, 100%. Like, for example, in the wedding industry, so I would have a client wherein she would ask me to do her wedding invitations when I was still doing wedding invitations, and then after that, after she got married, she would have a baby, and then they would reach back to me, and they would ask me to, do a mirror for their baby shower, or for the baptism of the baby, or even like after the wedding, they would come back and, oh, can you write our vows, stuff like that. And even in my teaching calligraphy field, for some people, like they would attend my workshop. Let's say they will do like the traditional calligraphy, which is the pointed pen, and then after that they would come back for another workshop that I have, which is like brush pen. So it's because I hopefully I have established trust, and yeah, it's more of like the quality of people that really appreciate what you are doing
Yeah,
and
and you
appreciate the art.
and you got lifetime clients this way, right? So they take well, it goes from wedding to the baby to the mirror to all of a sudden,
Yeah, that's
like
right.
happy fifth anniversary into the cup and everything else.
That's right.
Right. Now, okay, so here's another question. Now, do most people take your workshop more to learn this, or more for, okay, I need a hobby, or like I need a stress relief and I need to get out of, where I'm stuck, and I need to just come here and be more creative and take the, tension off of my day to day.
Yeah. From my experience, with the participants that I have, because my workshop, it's a 3 to 4 hour workshop, and we do tend to like chat, like what do they do or why they're doing this. Most of them really, they just want to learn a new hobby. And
Mhm.
then once they're practicing, like during the workshop, they would say, wow, this is so therapeutic, because calligraphy, you need to slow down a bit, especially when writing calligraphy. It's not like a rush like handwriting. I always tell my clients that calligraphy is not handwriting, because with handwriting, it's second nature, that most of the time we're writing so fast and really don't care about like how it looks. But with calligraphy, you really have to slow down. So I would really hear like clients or participants during class while writing, like, wow, this is so therapeutic, like, oh, okay, I really have to slow down. So yeah, most of them, they just want a hobby, and they want something they can do, aside from, aside from the busy, stressful work. But there are a few who really want to, oh, I really want to do this, I really want to explore this, and maybe make it into a business someday. So I have those kind of participants as well.
My sister, and she's not gonna appreciate me saying this. She doesn't. She's very shy, but she's an amazing card designer. So she makes like birthday
Wow.
cards, and she's really really good.
Yes.
I'm gonna actually tell her to watch this, and
Oh,
because I
thank
think
you.
she can learn a lot from the calligraphy and actually add that to her cards.
Yeah, that's right. I do, and yeah, another thing, I have a couple of like graphic designers, or also they do have their own business. They design, for example, for corporations, or even like for their own business, but they don't know calligraphy, and they want to do it because Snell, right now there is the if you've heard about like iPad Procreate. So you can also do calligraphy on that particular application,
I was
which
just
is not,
going into that right now.
yeah, so digital, right?
Digital,
So
yeah.
that's another way. That's another way for some people, like, oh, I want to learn calligraphy just because I want to design something, but digital, because the concept is pretty much the same when you want to learn calligraphy physically or on the iPad.
So let's go into that now.
Mm-hmm.
On the tablet, digital. Now, is it done the same way as you do with the pen and the ink? Like, do you need like a special pen on there? Like, what's the process of this? I'm totally new to
So
this. I've never seen it done.
no worries, it's my pleasure to walk you through it. So there are two ways. So the easier one and the faster one would be straight from the iPad, and you just have like a pencil, or we call it Apple Pencil.
Mhm.
But for those who are not using iPad, I believe they're using like a Wacom tablet, and then they
Or a
also have like a
Surface?
special yeah, a special stylus pen. But I'm not really familiar with that, so I just want to share with you what I know. So which is the iPad and the Apple Pencil. So the technique to create the letters are pretty much the same, but of course, what you don't experience there is the tactile of the paper and the ink. Dipping the ink, making your hands messy, and then the texture of the people and all that stuff. So, but either way, it's totally fine. What I have observed is that, of course, when you start from really scratch, like pen, dipping ink, putting it on paper, scanning it, putting it on the computer, and then after that, designing it, there is a nice difference, like a very slight difference, I think, like on how the letters look. It's more raw, and there's more. I don't want to say authentic because it's both authentic, but more of like the edges, you can really see that it's really calligraphy and all that stuff. But if you want more of like brush modern kind of calligraphy, then the iPad really works as well.
Is there like
So
apps there for it, or you just kind of do it
yeah,
on? There's
yeah.
apps. Okay.
So I think there's a lot of apps, but the most common one is what you call Procreate. So Procreate, and then it has a, I'm not sure if it has a, no, it doesn't have a free version. I think you have to pay for it, but it's not that much. I think it's about $15-$20,
Yep.
and that could give you a lot of potential, not only for calligraphy but also for watercolor. You can do those kind of things there already.
So
So yeah, go ahead.
so next question. Okay, so let's just say for me, right? I don't have that Apple Pen. Can I
Mhm.
download that on my iPhone and use my finger?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay,
You
it
can
won't turn
probably
out
doodle.
nice.
Yeah, you can doodle some words, but it won't turn out as nice. Because the nice thing about the Apple Pencil is that when you press it, like when you put pressure on it, even though your iPad, it won't really like, you won't really see that pressure going on. But if you put pressure on your fingers down to the screen, it will create a thick stroke. And if you don't put any pressure, it will create a thin stroke. So that is like what's wonderful about it, because it mimics calligraphy, because in calligraphy, modern calligraphy, it's basically the thick line and the thin line alternating. And every time you want a thick line, you put pressure on it. Every time you do a thin line, then you have to release the pressure. So the same thing with when you're holding an Apple Pencil on the screen, you just put pressure on the screen and it will give you a nice thick line. So
You
the
should
concept
start a
of
YouTube
calligraphy
channel
is
and
also,
actually teach this.
I know. Okay, I will let you know. I mean, I already had my handle. I
Oh, you do?
already
Okay,
have
good.
because again, right? Because of a lot of people are asking like, like we want to see more videos. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this now. So I believe you are the final sign.
I'm the
I should
final
really
sign.
start
All
this.
right.
The final sign, like, okay, Maurelle, you really have to do this YouTube video. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for encouraging me.
Yeah, I know
That's the
for
last
sure
thing
because
that I need to do.
there's a lot of passion that you're talking about right now, right? I can just see it. You're lightening up
Thank you.
doing this stuff. And I wish instead of people just listening to this podcast, they're actually looking at the smile on your face when you're
Ah.
talking about this. I talk to a lot of business owners, and when I'm talking to them, they are not happy with what they're doing, and you can just
Oh
tell
no,
it.
yeah.
But there's a lot of fire and
Thank
passion
you,
here
thank
with
you.
you talking about it. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is really something that I'm really grateful that I'm able to do because you were talking about like asking about my background. I forgot to mention that I am a nurse and a biologist by profession. So I took two courses and finished both, but I never practiced it. Just because during that time in my younger years, I'm really like, should I do this? Will I be happy here? So I mean, I appreciate the field. I mean, I really enjoyed learning a lot of things like in the medical field, but the the heart of creativity is really calling me. Like my favorite subjects when I was in college was like when I'm drawing flowers in biology, or when we're doing creative stuff in nursing. So yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to do it. So if for any listeners that you have right here that are have that like voice telling that you should really do this and that you don't have to like give up it right away, like, oh, I'm gonna quit my job and this is it, I'm gonna do it. You can do it slowly, right? So that's what I did as well. And yeah, right now, you're right. This
No,
is
that's
really something that
amazing
I'm really
advice that
happy
you just
with.
gave to people. That's just amazing. You starting a YouTube channel is very simple. It's not going to be that difficult for you. But you
Thank
just
you.
understanding that you got the creative mind and the nursing and that side is not going to make me happy. And you making that decision young in your life is unreal, because there's so many people that's listening right now that are stuck at something that they don't want to do, and
Yes.
they're not happy, but it just pays the bills versus coming and doing something like you're doing on a part-time basis and eventually growing to a business. It's no, I think you opened a lot of eyes here today.
Oh, I really do hope so. And also age, I believe age doesn't matter.
Age
Like,
doesn't matter. No.
right? Who's that guy? Oh, like the designer Vera Wang. I believe she's 40 or 50 when she started designing, right? So it's not
So
there
who's
are
that
a
again?
lot. Vera Wang.
Vera Wang.
She's
Okay.
like she's a very popular designer, fashion designer,
Okay.
especially in the wedding industry.
Yeah.
And she didn't really started like when she's 15, which nothing wrong if you start 15, but it really age doesn't matter
Age
if you're
doesn't
40,
matter.
50, 60, right?
Well, look at Colonel Sanders. I think the
Oh
guy
yeah,
was
exactly.
65 when he
Yeah,
started.
that's right.
The Waltons, right? Sam Walton again. Retirement age and started. So yeah, age really doesn't matter,
Yes, that's
right? I think the
right.
older you get, the more um, wiser you become. But at the same time, it's you're somewhat structured as well. But
Mhm.
the faster you can start and move that way, that's good. So next question here. Now with the pandemic now, and things are starting to ease up, are you still doing like Zoom type of workshops, or what has happened there?
So right now, I did have a couple of Zoom workshops. I partnered with brands like here in Vancouver, we have a brand called Muji, and then Omomo. They carry stationery products.
Mhm.
So they reach out to me. I've been working with them even before, but they reach out to me if I can do like a workshop. So I did, and I also did like Instagram Live, and I have a Facebook. I also, because of the pandemic, I also started a Facebook group. I call it Calligraphy Chums, and I just like post stuff there, videos, and basic calligraphy for those who want to start it out and jump into this.
Could you give that Facebook page again?
So my page, not it's not a
No, your
Facebook
group.
page. Yeah, the group.
Yeah.
The group is Calligraphy Chums. So calligraphy and then space and then chums. Chums is CHUMS. So
Okay.
yeah, but if they also visit my Instagram, Hello Maurelle, it's on one of my links in my profile. If it's easier for them.
Yeah, you got the link tree there. Got it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Perfect. Now, when you're in workshops, right? Is it strictly, not strictly, but is it a mixture of digital and original? Is it called original, like the old school, or
Traditional, I guess. Traditional.
traditional? Sorry,
Yeah.
that's the word. Is it traditional or is it digital, or is it a mixture of both?
For my workshop, do you mean the online or
Both.
both? Well, yeah, both would be traditional.
Okay.
Traditional in the sense of I'm using an actual pen and on paper, because in calligraphy there is also traditional and modern calligraphy. So traditional calligraphy is the kind of calligraphy where there are a lot of rules that you have to make sure that you follow. Spacing, all this stuff, which is also beautiful. But then modern calligraphy is more it's more based from your handwriting in a way, your style. So looser when it comes to the strokes, but you still have to learn the basic rules, and then after that, you can break it.
So
That's
when
how
I
they
meant
say it.
modern, I meant digital.
Yes, and then on my workshop, I don't teach the digital kind of calligraphy yet.
Yeah.
So because it's totally separate when it
Perfect.
comes to that.
I
Yeah.
was going somewhere with this. This
Yeah.
is me thinking when I'm listening here.
Mhm.
I and this is my advice. I would stick with the traditional on the workshops,
Mhm.
and I would go heavy on digital on YouTube,
Awesome. Yeah,
and
that's a good advice for me.
and
Thank you.
teach it
Thank
that
you.
way.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, because especially I think it's also easier for people to follow the techniques if you're watching and then and you're doing digital, because with the traditional, or with the pen and paper in the workshop, most of the people that attend, some of them actually have like some experience, like, oh, I bought a pen but I can't make it work, or
Mhm.
like, I bought a pen but then I don't know how to start. So that's the reason why like they attend the workshop, because they want to know like how they hold the pen properly. So I really, in my workshop, it's an intimate workshop, so I don't have like 30-40 people coming in. It's probably like 12-15 max of people, just because I want to make sure that I go around, I really check what they're doing, how they position themselves, how they write, how they hold their pen, and then I help them through that. That's why, sadly, because of the pandemic, I can't do like in-person workshop right now, just because even though it's a small gathering, but we're coming from different kinds of families, different kinds of work, so we really don't know like who's coming, and some of them might be compromised,
Yeah,
some of them might even health compromised, and we don't
yeah,
want that. So
especially right now.
yeah,
Exactly.
so that's why right now it's more of like digital. And yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. Thank you so much. You're really giving me that boost to start my YouTube channel.
I'll give you the boost.
Thank you.
It's definitely a good thing. Yeah, next time you start, you go back to your to the workshop, have the cameras all set up and go from there. Just it's a good starting point, right? But
Yes,
I think you're there already. You got everything set up there. It's just a matter of recording that and then recording the
yes,
screen
I
and
know.
posting.
My limiting belief.
You're limiting
I
belief
have
exactly.
to.
Yeah. Your worst what do they call it? Look at yourself in the mirror, you see your best friend and your worst enemy. right?
Yeah.
And the same here. I'm the only thing that stops me and the only thing
Oh,
that grows me. So
so true. So true.
exactly. So what do people find you? You know, we got the Facebook page, we got the Instagram page.
Mhm.
If they want to, you know, go to your workshop when it starts again,
Mhm.
how would they reach out to you?
So basically, the Hello Morale is my handle and my website as well. So if they're interested with any workshops in the future or even like the online workshops, it's easier for them to check it on Instagram. So when they type Hello Morale, they would see it right away. And on my profile, all the links is there, like my website, the schedule of the workshop. For those who would like to subscribe to my newsletter, I do send like a monthly newsletter, but I'm also thinking of making that hopefully a bi-weekly so I can teach more. And they can do that too, and they can subscribe through my website, which is also Hello Morale. So I wanna there's another tip, if I may add, like
Yeah.
when you're starting out a business, it's better that you are consistent on all platforms, right? With your name, it's not different from each platform, so that people will have an easier time finding you. So that's another thing. And also, you can also start with one or two platforms first, let's say Facebook and then Instagram. And then, as you grow, then you can add on Pinterest and then TikTok, because TikTok right now is also another platform that a lot of people are using. I do have
Yes.
a TikTok account, which is also Hello Morale, but I'm not really posting that much there yet because I want to focus on one or two right now, which is what I'm doing during this time is the Facebook group, because there's a lot of people that wanting me to do like more demos, and also on Instagram. So yeah, I hope
Facebook,
that helps.
Facebook communities have really taken off lately.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I have not spent, I don't really go to Facebook, my personal page anymore, unless I,
Mhm.
need to communicate with family and
Yes.
friends overseas and different places.
Mhm.
But I just don't go to my personal page. But lately, the groups I'm in,
Yeah.
um, just amazing amount of content and communication and engagement happening on there. So I like what Mark said. You know, Facebook is going from this big platform to
Mhm.
little somebody's living room, and
Yeah,
people just
that,
talking,
that
and
is
that's what a lot of these communities are. They're living rooms with people that
correct.
have like-minded, what do you call it, like-minded, I don't know, like
but but I know what you
like
mean.
it,
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
can't
is
even think
right.
of the word right now, but
Yeah,
like-minded ideas.
I can't even, I don't know how many groups I am right now on Facebook. Like not only calligraphy, but I'm also like, for example, on a Facebook for entrepreneurs or for
Yep.
moms, for homeschooling, different kinds. And right now I can really see a big surge in like activity of posting. And even like Facebook themselves, they even put in that rooms, right? The video, and you could also make rooms like what we're doing right now in Zoom. So Facebook is really trying to make it like a positive user experience for
Mhm.
for the clients.
Well, I think people spend like 52 minutes per day on it, or 58. Sorry,
Wow.
TikTok was like 52, and I think Facebook is 58.
Wow, wow.
Right, so that's a lot of minutes spent
Yeah.
spent there, right? And that's average, and I think a lot of people are probably just over that, especially
It's
like like us.
yeah, that's right. And it's one thing that I'm trying to do the best is to like really control myself, because when you started, like, let's say going on TikTok, and then you're browsing and browsing, or on Instagram browsing and browsing, and then we click this and click that, and then suddenly you realize, oh my god, you're there for like 45 or even an hour, like, which is sometimes okay, you can entertain yourself, take a break. But then when I realized that, I would feel like guilty. Oh, that hour could be spent like maybe writing a new blog post, or
Yeah,
maybe starting my YouTube channel, right? Stuff like that. So I'm
good
trying
point.
my best.
Yeah, I'm quite good with that. I'm very disciplined on
Mhm.
things like that, where
Yeah,
I kind of cut it off when it adds no value to me, and
yeah.
because there's a lot more in the plate. So yeah, no, that's a good point for somebody else when they say they don't have time to
Oh
start
yeah,
things. Just watch, just record your day and see how much you're spending on things that really don't matter.
that is true. Yeah, the first time I did that, I was really shocked with like, wow, I spend so much time doing this and not doing this. And some people would say like, because I have 3 kids and I'm homeschooling them, so that's also add another like plate, right, for me. So I really have to make sure that I am very conscious of where I bring or how I bring myself to, like, do I do this, do I do this, or do I spend more time on watching stuff, even like one Netflix episode, right? So it's not bad to treat yourself, but it really comes down to discipline, like when to do this and when to do that stuff.
100% discipline is the main thing. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
with the amount of like, Netflix, where you just said, and social media platforms, like that can get people caught up there. And I
Yeah.
I have Netflix on every day. I think if Netflix was supposed to send me like how much time I spent on there, I spent a lot of time on there, but
Yeah.
I need it, like, for me, from like 7 8 p.m. onwards. I would
Hmm.
say from like 8 till almost like 1 in the morning. I'm
Yeah.
strictly engaging on social, and I'm kind of looking at, commenting, or
Hmm.
getting ideas and direct messaging and figuring stuff out.
Yes.
There's always Netflix playing in the background, and I just need it for noise,
Yeah.
right? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I guaranteed I watched the whole series or something, but never watched it.
Hmm. Like, oh, you watched this? Oh yeah, I watched this, but so how is it? And like, oh, I'm not
I
really
have
sure. I
no
don't know the
idea.
character's name.
Exactly. It's just on the background, right?
Yeah.
Just for noise there. So
Well, for me, it in this extreme, but we don't have TV. We don't have TV in our little place. But of course, we have the kids or us. We have iPads. We have computer. We do have Netflix too. But yeah, and sometimes it's just there for me. Like when I am, let's say, writing. Even before the pandemic, I would like write something or do a project for a client. Then I have it on background. Just listening or kind of glancing, watching, because it's hard to watch and write at the same time. But yeah, it's
100%.
it's just something that's on the background.
Sounds good. Maurelle, thanks for your time. I really appreciate you being on
Oh my
on
God,
the
thank
podcast.
you.
Hang
Yeah,
tight. Let's chat here. Let me just stop the recording. We'll go from we'll do a little talk before we go.
thank you so much.